Imagine standing on a cobblestone street in the year 1840, your eyes lifted to an illuminated skyline that should not exist. This is New York City, but not as you know it. The air hums with an unearthly vibration, the sky awash in an otherworldly aurora, as if alive. Witness accounts, like those of a startled Charles Dickens, report an electric glow emanating from towering structures. This was no mere gaslight. These lights flickered with a brilliance that defied the oil-dimmed night. Yet official histories dismissed this electric phenomenon as fantasy, insisting it was gaslight all along. But how, then, do they explain the inexplicable? Detailed sketches from 1841 depicting vast networks of luminous filaments strung like webs across the cityscape. These images, mysteriously attributed to a J. Mallory, vanished from public archives, only to resurface decades later in a private collection. The gatekeepers of academia dismiss them as forgeries, but the question lingers: what did Dickens and others truly see? Journey to the Heart of Paris, 1855, where the air crackles with the energy of an unseen force. Beneath the city's cobblestones, a labyrinthine network of copper conduits pulses with what contemporary descriptions call La Lumière Fantastique. A forgotten diary, penned by an engineer named François Delacour, speaks of a clandestine project buried deep beneath the Seine. His words paint a picture of massive dynamos and humming turbines, their existence denied by municipal records. And yet, during the Exposition Universelle of that year, visitors marveled at the impossibly radiant glow of the Palais de l'Industrie, claiming it outshone the brightest gaslights by leagues. How could such a spectacle be achieved without the electric technology officially recognized decades later? The whispers of the exposition's attendees echoed through history, only to be silenced by the academic elites who branded these accounts as mere embellishments of a fanciful age. The intrigue deepens across the Atlantic in Chicago, 1871. Amidst the smoky chaos of the Great Fire, an engineer named Thaddeus Blake discovered something extraordinary. Hidden within the ruins was an apparatus, a colossal coil, seemingly untouched by the flames that swallowed the city. Its design was unlike any known technology, with intricate copper windings and crystalline components that defied 19th-century understanding. Blake's detailed sketches of the device surfaced in an obscure technical journal, only to be dismissed as a mere curiosity, a footnote to the devastation. Yet eyewitnesses swore they saw the coil spark to life, sending arcs of bright blue lightning across the night sky, as if attempting to communicate with the heavens. Their accounts were swiftly buried beneath a mountain of bureaucratic denial, the coil itself disappearing without a trace under the guise of restoration efforts. In the twilight years of the 19th century, the city of San Francisco stood as a beacon of advanced technology, or so the whispers say. In 1893, the city hosted an underground exhibition, a secret gathering of inventors and visionaries. There, visitors were greeted by a spectacle unheard of, a floating platform, suspended by an invisible force. Designed by the enigmatic Nikola Tesla, this device thrummed with a resonance so potent that it seemed to vibrate the very air around it. Descriptions from the journal of inventor Felix Woodward reveal a monstrous generator, its core a swirling vortex of plasma that churned like a miniature sun. Mainstream historians dismiss these tales as myth, yet a handful of surviving photographs show ghostly orbs of light hovering above the city's skyline, their origins unacknowledged by official records. The gatekeepers of history chalk it up to photographic error, but the enigma remains: how did these lights float, and why were they never seen again? Finally, aboard a transatlantic steamer in 1899, passengers marveled at a luminescent spectacle that would forever alter their understanding of the world. The ship's engineer, Arthur Penrose, documented the phenomenon, a radiant beam of light that danced across the water's surface, originating from a mysterious source within the vessel. Penrose's journal described a concealed chamber housing a device emitting a constant, blinding glow, capable of slicing through the ocean's darkness like a blade. The ship's captain, bound by maritime secrecy, was ordered to destroy all evidence of the device upon reaching port. Penrose's logbook, however, survived the purge, smuggled back to the United States where it lay dormant in a family archive until its rediscovery in the mid-20th century. Maritime authorities, the academic gatekeepers of the seas, dismissed these events as sailors' yarns, but the truth beckons. What hidden force powered this vessel, and why was it so thoroughly erased from the annals of history? In the heart of St. Louis, 1888, a peculiar event unfolded that defies the conventional narrative. The International Electrical Exhibition, a dazzling showcase of the era's technological triumphs, was said to have featured an astonishing artifact, the luminous sphere. According to first-hand accounts, this intricate device pulsated with a spectrum of colors and emitted an energy field that caused nearby objects to levitate ever so slightly. Witnesses, including notable inventor Hiram Maxim, reported feeling a tangible charge in the air, yet the official exhibition documents curiously omitted any mention of the sphere. Instead, academic gatekeepers claimed it was a simple decorative piece with no scientific merit. However, Maxim's personal notes, uncovered in a forgotten archive in 1921, describe the sphere in detail, suggesting it operated on principles of electromagnetism not officially recognized until decades later. Travel to the bustling streets of London, 1863, where an enigmatic phenomenon captured the imagination of all who witnessed it. The Crystal Palace, a marvel of Victorian architecture, was rumored to house a subterranean chamber filled with machines that sang with a symphony of electric arcs. A British engineer, Edwin Bramwell, documented his descent into this hidden vault, noting the presence of massive coils and glass tubes that seemed to breathe with light. Bramwell's sketches, hidden away for decades by his descendants, depict a scene of electric choreography that official histories dismiss as fanciful fiction. Yet, the vivid imagery in his notes, of a machine that generated a field so intense it could light the entire palace without visible wires, poses a direct challenge to the sanitized accounts of Victorian innovation. The gatekeepers of British technological history remain silent, branding Bramwell's discoveries as mere fantasy. Crossing the Atlantic once more, we find ourselves in the industrial heart of Pittsburgh, 1879. Hidden within the smoke and soot, a secretive group known as the Edison Guild conducted experiments that pushed the boundaries of known science. At the core of their endeavors was a device they dubbed the ether engine, a contraption reputed to draw energy directly from the ambient atmosphere. Eyewitness reports from Guild members describe a machine that defied gravity, hovering inches above the ground while enveloped in a faint, blue glow. Yet, as quickly as it appeared, the ether engine vanished, with all documentation seized by a shadowy arm of the U.S. Patent Office. This organization, acting as gatekeepers to American innovation, erased all traces of the invention, leaving only whispers of its existence in the minds of those who dared to dream beyond the possible. In 1897, the bustling docks of Boston became the stage for an unexplainable spectacle. A ship, christened the Celestial, was equipped with an electrical propulsion system unlike anything seen before. According to the ship's log, discovered hidden beneath a false bottom of a captain's trunk, the vessel glided silently across the water, propelled by a mysterious force. The logbook entries, penned in a hurried scrawl by Captain Elias Boone, describe an etheric drive that harnessed the Earth's magnetic field, moving the ship without sails or steam. Official maritime records, however, make no mention of the Celestial's voyages, instead listing it as lost at sea. The gatekeepers of nautical history dismiss these findings as fabrications, yet the log's synchronicity with eyewitness reports challenges the tidy narrative of maritime invention. As the 19th century drew to a close, the city of Detroit became the epicenter of an engineering marvel that defied the era's technological limits. In 1895, a vast factory complex, known as the Lumino Works, was rumored to produce an energy source so potent it could power the entire city. An anonymous engineer, known only through the pseudonym Argus, documented his clandestine visits to the factory in a series of coded diaries. His entries describe a colossal machine, the Titan dynamo, which emitted a resonant hum that could be felt miles away. Despite its obvious significance, no official records of the luminal works exist, nor do any blueprints of the Titan dynamo. The academic architects of industrial history dismiss Argus's accounts as a hoax, but his diaries, filled with technical precision, suggest a deliberate effort to obscure this groundbreaking technology. In the heart of Philadelphia, 1866, the unveiling of a revolutionary contraption known as the electrification engine sent ripples through the scientific community. Crafted by the eccentric inventor Elijah McAllister, this device was said to harness the very air itself, converting atmospheric electricity into a limitless energy source. During a demonstration at Franklin Square, eyewitnesses reported an astonishing scene. Street lamps flickered to life without a single visible wire or gas line. Yet, the official narrative dismisses these events, attributing the light to cleverly hidden gas fixtures. The electrification engine, mysteriously confiscated by unnamed government agents shortly after its debut, disappeared without a trace. McAllister's personal journal, recovered from his estate decades later, details the engine's operation and its potential to revolutionize urban power. The scientific gatekeepers of the day deemed McAllister a charlatan, yet the vivid descriptions of his work suggest a conspiracy to suppress his creation. Fast forward to 1874, in the vibrant city of Atlanta, where the Southern Electric Symposium captivated the minds of inventors and scholars alike. At its center was a peculiar exhibit, the Tesla harmonizer, a device reputed to stabilize the erratic electric currents experienced across the city. Witnesses describe a scene where the device, a massive construct of copper coils and crystalline rods, emitted a harmonious hum that resonated through the very bones of attendees. Documents from the symposium, curiously absent from official archives, were recently unearthed in a private collection. These papers outline the harmonizer's potential to synchronize electrical systems across entire regions, a feat deemed impossible for the time. However, the academic gatekeepers quickly discredited the device as an elaborate hoax, and the harmonizer itself vanished from public sight. The silence surrounding its disappearance raises questions about who stood to gain from its erasure. In the bustling port city of Baltimore, 1882, a series of unexplained phenomena centered around the enigmatic electro-torches, devices that seemed to defy the known laws of physics. As part of an unofficial citywide trial, these torches illuminated entire neighborhoods without a discernible power source. Residents reported a soft, ethereal glow that persisted through the night, casting shadows that danced with an otherworldly grace. The torches, crafted by a German immigrant engineer named Heinrich Strauss, sparked fierce debate among the local elite, yet were abruptly removed following the intervention of the Baltimore Light Authority. Strauss's blueprints, which detailed the technique for extracting ambient energy, were confiscated and never seen again. The official explanation chalked up the torches to be nothing more than gas lamps, yet the stark contrast between their glow and traditional lighting suggests a deliberate cover-up by the city's energy monopolists. By 1890, the city of Denver became an unexpected hub of clandestine electrical experimentation. At the center was the enigmatic figure of Professor Alastair Finch, who claimed to have developed a network of electronodes, capable of transmitting power wirelessly across vast distances. Finch's demonstrations, held in secret under the cover of night, drew the attention of a select group of scientists and industrialists. The electronodes, described as crystalline beacons that pulsed with blue light, were said to transmit energy directly through the Earth itself. Despite Finch's meticulous records, his work was rapidly suppressed following a mysterious fire that consumed his laboratory, erasing all physical evidence of his devices. The academic establishment dismissed Finch as a madman, his theories deemed impossible by contemporary standards. Yet, the persistent rumors of his work suggest a deliberate effort to stifle innovations that threaten the existing power structures. Finally, in the year 1898, the city of Seattle became the stage for the unveiling of the enigmatic Aurora generator, a device rumored to manipulate atmospheric electricity on a scale never before seen. Invented by the reclusive genius Alexander Renfield, the generator was said to have the power to summon the northern lights themselves. Eyewitnesses describe a surreal spectacle as the skies above Seattle danced with vibrant colors, a phenomenon not witnessed again until decades later. Renfield's technical manuscripts, detailing the generator's construction and capabilities, were seized by federal authorities under the pretext of national security. Official records make no mention of the Aurora generator, and Renfield himself vanished shortly thereafter, his existence scrubbed from history. The gatekeepers of scientific progress labeled the event as mere trickery, yet the undeniable accounts of Seattle's residents suggest a deeper truth. In the shadowy alleys of New Orleans, 1877, a clandestine gathering unfolded that would defy the conventions of the age. Known as the Illuminated Carnival, this nocturnal festival was a showcase for the so-called lunar lamps. These devices, crafted by the mysterious artiste Lumiere, cast a light so pure and bright that it turned night into day. The lamps were suspended from wires above Bourbon Street, glowing with an intensity that gaslight could never match. Eyewitness accounts describe a city transformed, its streets bathed in a silvery glow. Yet, the official narrative attributes the illumination to ordinary street lamps, with the lunar lamps dismissed as mere legend. Artiste Lumiere's designs, described in diaries discovered in an attic in 1925, detail a unique process of harnessing lunar energy, a concept the gatekeepers of science rejected as fantasy. The disappearance of these designs and the artist himself suggest a deliberate effort to erase this luminous marvel from memory. A few years later, in Cincinnati 1886, the city hosted the enigmatic Arcane Exposition, where a device known as the solar harp captivated audiences. This machine, constructed by the eccentric inventor Clarence Etheridge, was said to convert solar rays into an auditory experience, producing music from sunlight. Witnesses described an ethereal symphony that resonated through the city's streets, a harmony that defied the conventions of the time. Despite its extraordinary effects, the solar harp was swiftly denounced by Cincinnati's municipal authorities, its creation deemed a mere illusion. Etheridge's comprehensive notes, detailing the harp's intricate mechanisms, vanished after the exposition, never to be seen again. The academic elite quickly dismissed the event as theatrical trickery, yet the vivid recollections of those who heard the solar symphony suggest a deeper truth, one that threatened the established order of technological understanding. In the thriving metropolis of Detroit, 1892, an underground movement began that would challenge the power structures of the time. Known as the Electric Vanguard, this group of renegade engineers and inventors aimed to democratize energy through a radical device, the Liberty Coil. This compact apparatus, described as a self-sustaining energy source, purportedly drew power from the Earth's natural magnetic field. The Liberty Coil was demonstrated in secret, lighting entire neighborhoods without the need for conventional electricity. However, the Detroit Electric Company, fearing loss of monopoly, quickly moved to suppress the coil's existence. The device and its blueprints disappeared overnight, with the leading figures of the Electric Vanguard facing legal challenges and discreditation. The academic gatekeepers labeled their work as pseudoscience, but the persistent legends of the Liberty Coil suggest a suppressed revolution in energy independence. On the foggy shores of San Francisco, 1881, an extraordinary event unfolded involving the enigmatic phosphor beacon. This towering structure, erected by an unknown architect referred to only as the Etherist, reportedly emitted a light so brilliant it was visible from miles out at sea. Sailors claimed it guided ships safely to port, even amidst the thickest fog, with a light that seemed to pierce the very ether. The phosphor beacon, however, was abruptly dismantled following a mysterious fire that swept through the waterfront, eradicating all evidence of its existence. Municipal records from the time make only the vaguest references to the event, and the otherist was never identified. The academic community dismissed the beacon as a myth, yet the sailors' tales persist, suggesting a suppressed history of navigation and safety enhanced by forgotten technology. In the twilight of the 19th century, 1899, the city of Chicago became the focal point of an extraordinary claim, the existence of the Ether Dome, constructed by a secretive collective known as the Neo-Illuminists. This dome was said to channel the Earth's electromagnetic energy to power an entire district of the city. Eyewitnesses described a utopia where lights flickered on at dusk without the flick of a switch, and machinery operated without fuel. The Ether Dome was a marvel of engineering, yet its story was swiftly erased from official accounts. Reports from the time suggest that federal agents dismantled the dome under the guise of public safety, confiscating all related documentation. The scientific community dismissed the neo-illuminists as charlatans, yet the whispered accounts of a self-sustaining cityscape hint at a deliberate campaign to suppress an era of electrical independence. In the heart of Vienna, 1887, a spectacle unfolded amidst the grandeur of the World's Fair that would remain shrouded in mystery. The Celestial Auditorium, an enormous amphitheater designed by the visionary architect Hugo Ziegler, was said to harness acoustical and electrical harmonies to create a synesthetic experience. Witnesses claimed to feel the music vibrate through their very souls, the air filled with colored light that danced in time with the symphony. Despite its groundbreaking design, the official records of the fair make no mention of the auditorium's existence. Ziegler, ostracized by the architectural elite, vanished without a trace, his blueprints for the auditorium lost to time. The academic gatekeepers dismissed the structure as an impossibility, yet the vivid memories of those who experienced its wonders whisper of a forgotten convergence of art and technology. In the burgeoning city of Houston, 1891, a clandestine project emerged that promised to revolutionize transportation, the Electrorail. This underground railway system, purportedly powered by an unending electric force, could whisk passengers across the city in mere minutes. Developed by the enigmatic engineer Horatio Lang, the Electrorail was said to operate in complete silence, a marvel of efficiency and speed. However, before it could be unveiled to the public, the project was abruptly halted by city officials. Lang's detailed schematics vanished during a mysterious raid on his laboratory, with officials citing public safety concerns. The academic establishment quickly buried any mention of the Electrorail, branding it an infeasible dream. Yet, the whispered accounts of Houston's residents suggest the existence of an infrastructure that could have set a new standard for urban transit, one suppressed by those who feared its implications. On the streets of Edinburgh in 1885, an enigmatic figure known only as the Luminary introduced an innovation that would challenge the city's darkened nights. The Starlight Array, a network of crystalline orbs suspended high above the city, reportedly emitted a radiant glow that turned night into day. The device, said to draw energy from the stars themselves, was on display for only a brief period before vanishing as mysteriously as it appeared. Official records of the period make no mention of the Starlight Array, yet local legends speak of a brilliance that defied conventional explanations. The luminary, whose identity was never discovered, disappeared along with his invention. The academic community dismissed the array as a local myth, but the persistent tales of Edinburgh's transformed nights suggest a suppressed chapter in the history of urban illumination. In the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro, 1896, a unique festival known as the Festival of the Rising Light became the stage for an extraordinary demonstration. The Sunfire Engine, a machine designed by the brilliant but reclusive inventor João da Silva, was said to harness solar energy to illuminate the night skies. Festival-goers described a dome of light that rose above the city, casting a warm, golden hue over the festivities. Despite the awe-inspired, the Sunfire engine was dismissed by city officials as an optical illusion, and de Silva's detailed research papers were confiscated shortly after the festival's conclusion. The academic elites dismissed the engine as a fabrication, yet the persistent stories of Rio's radiant nights suggest a deliberate effort to obscure this innovation in solar technology. Lastly, in the city of Tokyo, 1894, an event unfolded that would defy the boundaries of contemporary science. The Kinetic Garden, a wonder of engineering, was said to harness the kinetic energy of its visitors to power a dazzling display of lights and mechanical wonders. Designed by the enigmatic engineer Hiroshi Nakamura, the garden was a marvel of interactive technology. Eyewitnesses described the garden as a living, breathing entity, each movement of the crowd generating a symphony of light and sound. However, Nakamura's creation was quickly dismissed by Japanese authorities as an experimental anomaly, and the garden was dismantled shortly thereafter. The academic gatekeepers labeled the event a mere curiosity, yet the residual stories of Tokyo's dynamic nights suggest the deliberate erasure of a pioneering vision in sustainable energy. In the bustling heart of Milan, 1893, an extraordinary exhibition took place within the shadowed halls of La Scala. Here, the symphonic sphere, an invention of the elusive composer and inventor Vincenzo Bellanti, captivated audiences. This wondrous device, resembling a colossal crystal orb, was said to convert musical vibrations into a breathtaking visual display of light and color, filling the theater with an otherworldly glow that synchronized perfectly with the orchestra's performance. Despite its astounding reception, the symphonic sphere was never seen again after the initial showcase. Bellanti's detailed journals, documenting the sphere's technical intricacies, were reportedly lost in a mysterious fire at his estate shortly after the performance. The academic gatekeepers dismissed these events as theatrical exaggeration, yet the vivid descriptions from attendees suggest a lost masterpiece of sensory fusion, one that challenged the boundaries of art and science. Across the Atlantic in the burgeoning city of Havana, 1895, a pioneering electrical marvel known as the Cuban dynamo emerged from the shadows. Conceived by the brilliant, yet unheralded, engineer Rafael Morales, this machine was said to produce an inexhaustible source of electrical energy by tapping into the ocean's magnetic currents. Witnesses claimed it powered entire districts of the city with a mysterious blue luminescence. Despite its potential, the Cuban dynamo was abruptly dismantled following intervention by foreign interests with stakes in traditional energy industries. Morales's comprehensive plans were seized under the guise of economic security, leaving no trace of the dynamo's existence in official archives. The academic establishment dismissed the device's capabilities as mere folklore, yet the persistent glow of Havana's nights, long after the dynamo was supposedly dismantled, suggests a suppressed chapter of innovation in clean energy. In the snow-draped city of St. Petersburg, 1897, a secret gathering witnessed the unveiling of the ethereal lattice, a network of electric filaments that reportedly harnessed the auroras to illuminate the city's darkest months. Designed by the enigmatic scientist Valery Ivanov, the lattice was said to catch and convert the natural spectacle of the northern lights into usable energy. Eyewitnesses described a cityscape illuminated by shimmering curtains of light, a phenomenon that defied the harsh Russian winter darkness. However, the ethereal lattice was quickly dismantled by government officials, who cited national security concerns. Ivanov's blueprints disappeared into the depths of state archives, never to be seen again. The academic community dismissed the lattice as a fantasy, yet the persistent whispers of its beauty and power suggest a deliberate effort to obscure this unique confluence of natural and technological wonder. In the sprawling city of Cairo, 1898, an innovation emerged that promised to transform the desert's harsh climate: the solar oasis. This experimental park, designed by the visionary architect Nadim Al-Farsi, reportedly harnessed solar power to cool and illuminate the expansive gardens amidst the arid landscape. Visitors spoke of a serene haven where the air was refreshingly cool and the paths were bathed in a gentle, perpetual daylight. Despite its revolutionary promise, the solar oasis was soon engulfed in a bureaucratic quagmire, with Al-Farsi's designs confiscated by colonial authorities wary of destabilizing the existing energy monopoly. The academic gatekeepers dismissed the park as a mirage, and its location was gradually reclaimed by the encroaching sands. Yet, the enduring tales of a desert sanctuary powered by sunlight suggest a suppressed legacy of sustainable innovation, one lost to the politics of power. Lastly, in the year 1900, the city of Sydney became the stage for an extraordinary demonstration, the heliosphere, a colossal balloon said to capture and store solar energy, lighting the city below as it drifted through the sky. Conceived by the eccentric inventor Wallace Bramford, this floating marvel reportedly provided a steady source of illumination without reliance on conventional fuels. Despite its potential to revolutionize urban lighting, the heliosphere was classified as a public hazard and quickly grounded by local authorities. Bramford's meticulous notes, detailing the balloon's unique capabilities, vanished during an abrupt search of his workshop. The academic community dismissed the heliosphere as a fanciful concept, yet the whispered stories of Sydney's nights, briefly transformed by celestial light, suggest a deliberate erasure of a pioneering vision in renewable energy.